Howdy folks, welcome back for another edition of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, Combined Game Playthrough number 2. Today we will be starting the January-February 1939 turn. 1939 should be a pretty interesting year, all things being considered. We got things kind of heating up over there in China. Looks like Europe might start doing something, but you never can tell with this game because sometimes it just goes way off the rails and you really get some weird stuff happening. But anyways, let's go and take a look at the starting money for the major powers. All right. Things have improved somewhat from the beginning of 38 to the beginning of 39. Starting money for January-February 39 turn looks something like this. Germany has 0, Japan has 3, Italy has 5, the USSR has -1, the Commonwealth has 0, France has -1, the USA has 0, and China has -1. Now, the January-February 1939 in whole is a year that a lot of major powers can gear up, and those major powers include Italy, Japan, the China, the United States. So we got what, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 major powers that can gear up, and I know 2 of them really want to gear up. So it's likely that we're going to have several major powers bidding. And when I took a look, see what the major powers want to do, came out to be something like this. For bidding major powers, we have 7 major powers bidding. See if we can get them all on screen here. We have Japan bidding 1, Italy bidding 1, the Commonwealth bidding 1. Germany is bidding 3, but she wants to do 2 options. Might not have been a good idea, but we'll see what happens. The Soviet Union is bidding 1, the USA is bidding 1, and I don't know if you can see China down there. China also is bidding 1. So let's go over here and take a look at the political initiative track and see how this is going to shake out. See if I can get both of these in. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, okay. All right. So we got something like this. We got Japan bidding 1. She's going to get a +8 because she got increased bid points for last turn. That was her political option. And she's in position 3, which is going to give her a +3. So that's a total of 12. That's definitely going to put the Japanese in first. The Italians bid 1. They're going to get 2 points for their 4th place position from last turn, and they got bonus bid points because they didn't get a political option last turn. So that's going to give them an additional 3 for a total of 6. That's going to put them in 2nd place. The Commonwealth bid 1. They're going to get a +4 for their 1st place finish. That's going to give them a 5 total, and we'll put them in 3rd. The Germans bid 3 because they kind of want to try to do 2 political options here. Okay, they're going to get 2 for their 5th place position from last turn. That's a total of 5. Divided by 2 is 2.5. That's going to put them in 4th. Okay, the Soviet Union bid 1. They're going to get a +1 for their 6th place. That's 2. The U.S. bid 2. They're going to get 0 for their 8th place. That's 2. And the Chinese bid 1. They're going to get +1 for their 7th place position for 2. So we got a 3-way tie. Soviet Union, U.S., and China. And we break that tie by going to the political effectiveness track. And we see that the Soviets are in the 4th place, -1 for the London Naval Treaty ratios, because they're either the last or next to last major power with the ratios. So that's going to give them a 3. The U.S. is at 2. but they also get a -1, so that's going to put them at 1. And the Chinese are at 1. So the U.S. and China are going to, the three-way tie is broken by the Soviets. They're going to be 5th. The U.S. and China are tied on the political effectiveness track. So that tie is broken by current order on the initiative position track. So the Chinese will be 6th. Chinese beat the Americans out in something. The U.S. will be 7th. And so the last card will be Japan, and the last card will be the U.S. And the non-bidding major power is France. They will be 8th. All right, let's go and take a look and see what Japan wants to do. Japan is going to pick Japanese option number 2, gear up. This is probably going to be a common theme this political phase. So they do meet the prerequisites. The current year is greater than or equal to the year specified on the PM track, so they will pay standard cost. That's about it for that. There is a total cost of 9, so it's pretty expensive. There's going to be a U.S. entry of +10, so that's not insignificant either. The minor country adjustments, I'll put those out, and I'll come back with Japan activating a minor. We are now back to the point where Japan activates a minor, and I think they're going to activate Chile. Grab the markers, come over here to the status display. Let's see what we got. We got a 3 Japanese, a 1 German, and a 1 Commonwealth. Well, the 1-point markers don't do anything, so they just basically get wasted. And the 3-point Japanese marker, well, here we got Chile here, Japan's over here, and the paternal monarchist. So that's 3 points. It's going to cost 2 for the hex, 1 to cross the boundary, and that will put Chile in the fascist ideology. Something that America is not very happy about, but hey, too bad. Alright, now we roll the die to see if Japan ends the political phase. Well, that die just skidded all over the place. Okay, but we come up with a 6. So the political phase will continue. We'll move down to Italy. We'll see what Italy wants to do. Italy is looking at gearing up as well. So the cost for the Italians is 7. So it's a little bit different than Japan. There's quite a few minor political influence markers that are going to go out. The U.S. entry also is only a +6 versus what it was with Japan, and they do qualify for their prerequisite. The current year is greater than or equal to the year specified on the PM track. The PM track specifies 1939, so the Italians can indeed gear up for the standard cost. So I will put the markers out, and I'll come back with Italy activating a minor. The Italians have decided they're going to activate Bulgaria. And it's a -1 in Bulgaria. It's not going to move the marker at all anyways, so we're just going to blow that off. And the next thing for the Italians to do is roll a die, see if they end the political phase. Alright, let's see what happens. A 3 does not end the political phase. There had been 1 previous option, so it was a -1, so that's a 2. So the political phase will continue. We will move down to the Commonwealth. What's the Commonwealth going to do? Well, the Commonwealth is going to hold their election. Because basically the Commonwealth needs to hold an election once every 3 calendar years. 36 to 38, which means they're 1 turn late. Okay? There's going to be no repercussions other than the only option they can play is IPO 10 until they actually hold their election. So, I'm going to hold the election for the Commonwealth. There's no U.S. entry. The cost is 1 money. And they will get to activate a minor, and I'll be right back with that. Now it's time for the Commonwealth to activate a minor. They are going to activate Greece. Grab the markers. Come over here to the status display. We got a -2 Italian and a 1 German. The 1 German is not going to do anything. The -2 Italian is going to drive the marker either into this hex or this hex, because It's probably begun of their 6 because Italy's like a straight row back here, so move the marker right there. They won't be able to get it here because that's the same distance. So even though the Commonwealth would like to get it here, they're just not going to make it. All right, now roll a die, see if they end the political phase. Oh, and the die just went way over and knocked all the money markers over. But we did roll a 7. So the political phase will continue while I pick up the markers. And I'll be right back with Germany. Germany has decided that it's alliance time again. So they're going to sign a minor alliance with Sweden, their old friends in Sweden up there. Now this is going to require a die roll. Let's go over the modifiers to the die roll. Add 1 to the result for each factory resource marker that Germany has in the minor. They have 4, so that's a +4. Add the minor's willpower, that's 2. It's printed on the minor country sheet. I think I showed that before. So that's +6. We're going to subtract Germany's initiative position, which is 4. So that is a +2. Subtract the distance in hexes on the status display between the major power and the minor's marker. Looking at the status display, that's 2 hexes, so that's going to be 0. The minor is not hostile, and we are not trying to break an alliance. So the modifier to the die roll is 0. The alliance is signed if Germany rolls anything more than a 0. So basically, it happens. Die roll of 6 makes it happen. I will denote that on the chart, and I got the U.S. entry and the minor effects are all on the treaty chart, and I'll put those out, and we'll come right back with Germany activating a minor. Okay, Germany now gets to activate a minor, and she's going to activate Sweden. Let's go check that out, see how that's going to work out for them. Over to the status display. See the German marker, and the Swedish marker is right there. We have 4 points. We got the Swedish marker here. German marker is here. Okay, well, normally it costs 2 points to enter a hex, and it costs an additional 1 to cross the boundary. However, when moving towards the activating major power within the ideology of that major power, it's a -1 to the cost. So it's going to be 2 + 1 -1 for nets for 2. So 2 points, we have 4 total, so 2 points are going to move the marker here. And the same is going to apply to this hex that Germany is in, and it's going to move the marker right underneath Germany. Now the Germans are more than happy with that, of course. Alright, now Germany gets to roll a die and see if she ends the political phase. We have had 3 previous political options played. Let's see what happens. 4 - 3 is 1, which ends the political phase. So Germany will not get to do her second political option. The Soviets, the Chinese, and the Americans will get bonus bid points for next turn. Again, the bonus bid points are actually going to get, this is where at least the Soviets and the Americans are going to suffer because of the London Naval Treaty, because they have a -1 modifier to their political effectiveness, so they're actually going to get less bonus bid points. But I will note that down, and then I will come right back with rolling initiative and rolling weather, and then taking a look at reinforcements. All right, let's roll initiative. There's actually no modifier to the weather roll for this turn, so the weather could be pretty interesting. Let's see what we get. So we got blue Democrats, white fascists, and red are the communists. All right. Well, the fascists really lost badly. I walked over to get the weather chart to see what kind of weather we could possibly have in the North Temperate. There's a 1 in 10 chance that the North Temperate is going to have fair weather. Everything else is really just miserable, bad weather, and probably nothing's going to happen. Blizzards and snow and, oh, anyways. I think that the Democrats would prefer to force the fascists to go first. And now the Democrats and the communists are tied, because the Democrats have a -1, they have a 9, and the communists have an 8. So the fascists are going to go first. Okay, so we'll put that in there for number 1. I think that the Democrats would prefer to go before the communists, but it's really up to the communists. And the communists are okay with that. That way, if the nationalist Chinese have to retreat from a hex, then the communists can fill it in. So it looks something like that. We're going to have the fascists going first, followed by the Democrats, and then the communists. All right, now let's roll weather. This ought to be interesting. Let's come over here. All right. Here's the weather chart. I don't know if you can see that. You can see, yeah, you can kind of see it. So it's kind of fair at the beginning of the chart, and then as you go down, it just gets progressively worse and worse and worse. That's this first column right here. All right, let's give it a roll, see what happens. Well, yeah, okay. 9. All right, let's see what a 9 is. Oh, blizzard, snow, blizzard in the Arctic, snow. In the North Temperate, then we got snow in the Mediterranean. And then we have fair, storm, rain. Fair, storm, rain. The initiative marker will be moving up 3. Oh, the impulse marker, rather, I'm sorry. And there is a +2 to next turn's weather roll. So I think this turn is going to be really short. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go take a look at reinforcements. I'm going to put them on the board, and I'm basically just going to kind of run through the turn. If the weather clears up, which I really highly doubt at this point, we'll probably just end up going straight to production. So let's take a look at reinforcements. All right, reinforcements for this turn. We have a kind of yucky German infantry corps, a decent garrison corps for the Germans. We have, that's not on the reinforcement chart, it's supposed to be in a repair pool. We have a infantry corps for the Commonwealth that's going to go to South Africa. We have a infantry corps for the, pretty good infantry corps for the French. We have a garrison corps for the Chinese, garrison army for the Chinese nationalists. We have a pilot for the Japanese, a pilot for the French, a transport. Yes, the Commonwealth will definitely like having a transport. Another one. We have 2 convoy points for the Commonwealth. Zhukov shows up for the Russians, the communists. The Japanese get a amphibious unit into the construction pool. The Japanese also get a carrier on the board. That's going to adjust the London naval ratios. The Germans also get a cruiser on the board, the Blucher. And the Commonwealth gets 3 light cruisers going on the board. So that's all going to adjust the London naval treaty ratio rates. I don't know if I'm going to come back or not. We might just go straight to production, not sure, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if the weather remains bad, it's no sense in you just watching me go, oh, they go, oh, they're all done. So, might just be come back straight to production. I was wrong. Japan's got something they're going to try. Okay, they have a ground strike mission, which I haven't done yet. They've already done their land movement. So, I'll show you how the ground strike works. Grab a die. Okay, we have this hex right here. This unit is going to try to ground strike them. This hex is in the north monsoon, which is clear. So there will be no deleterious effects for the snow that's in the North Temperate. Alright, so ground strike. Let's get the ground strike going. I need a 1. Now a 7 doesn't cut it. So let's go back over here. Mr. Naval Bomber guy flies back. I think he'll base and rebase to Shanghai. Yeah, he can rebase to Shanghai. I can still reach anything. So we have 33 to 8 because it's in the mountains, which means it's doubled, which is a 4 to 1. The Chinese are going to pick the assault table, obviously. They would rather have the Japanese bleed as much as possible. Let's see, 4 to 1 table right here. That's the 4 to 1 column on the assault table. It's right here. A 1 is really bad. Anything else? Well, a 2 is probably pretty bad too. Anything else? Kind of okay. So let's see what they get. They have no HQ benefits because the HQ is back here. It's the hex row behind them. All right, 4 to 1, straight up. A 2 is 2-1. Not exactly the greatest result for Japan, but it's going to give the Chinese another headache. And all the Japanese units will be flipped over. So they have to lose 2. So they're going to lose this cavalry unit. And I think they're going to lose... I think they're going to lose this militia. All the units are flipped over. And of course the Chinese lose this. The Japanese will get a cadre for this because it's next to the HQ. So these will both go in the cadre box. That's going to put an end to any offensive activity down here in the North Monsoon. However, the Japanese will get to occupy the hex, and they are more than happy to do that with everything here. That's going to cause a few problems for the Chinese. Though they do have a couple turns to work on it because now all these Japanese units are face down. So, alright, I'll break here. And, actually we got the Democrats coming up. So we're going to slide right into the Democrat turn. The British are sending a transport down to South Africa. That is all they're doing. And the Chinese got to figure out how to seal up the breach. I think they're going to move this guy here. This guy's going to go here. We really want to get Chang out of the front line. Not really good place to have him. Okay, I think that's a Chungking warlord, which is 2 hexes away, so he's safe. I think we're going to put the Chungking militia here, and we'll bring Chang back to here. But that leaves just 5 points there. That's not good. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Alright. That flips this over, because he went into the mountains. Into the mountains, so he flips over. Now the rest of these flip over, because there's no movement cost addition for snow. It's just a 2-column shift for combat odds. So everything is fine. So the Chinese are done, the Democrats are done. We'll go on to the Communists. I don't see them doing anything. I'm going to roll weather, and we'll go back to the Fascists. We'll roll weather, see what the weather roll is, and then continue from there. Because actually I'm just going to break, because I don't think anything's going to happen at this point. Okay, so the turn ended on the 14th impulse on the Communist impulse. So there's no change to the initiative modifiers. The weather was moderately bad, but not too bad. There'll be a +1 to the weather roll for next turn, the March-April turn. The partisan roll came out with partisans in Burma, Persia, and China. And China did get a partisan. It's a 0 strength partisan. There was a place to put it that doesn't have a Japanese zone of control in it. So I put it there. It's probably not going to last very long, but it's the first partisan of the game. Okay, I did production. There was an increase in production for both the Italians and the Japanese due to their gear up. So this turn, the major powers are definitely spent heavy, and they're actually in the negative, most of them. So let's check it out. So here we got France. France produced 6. They spent a total of 5, an HQ and a twin-engine fighter. I'm sorry. France produced 6, started with 5, and they just spent 8. Okay, that's how that is. All right. So the Commonwealth here went all out. Commonwealth produced 11, started with 9, and they spent 13. They pulled all these heavy cruisers out of the construction pools. Some of them are zeros. They built the pilot, they built the convoy point, and they pulled 3 light cruisers. Oh, these are all light cruisers. Light cruisers out of the cups to start their first cycle, and they produced a combat air group. The Chinese produced an infantry corps for $3. They produced 2. They got 1 from Cadre. They got 1 from Lend-Lease. They started with a total of 2. They were negative. And they spent 3. Okay, Germany. Germany produced 14, started with 6, and they just spent 10. An artillery unit, an infantry division, an infantry corps, and a first cycle of the sub. That initial cost, this is an original counter. So the initial cost for the first round is actually a 1, not a 2. Okay, in the Japan, they produced 11, started with 4, got 1 from Cadre. So that's a total of 5. They spent 6. Militia, a pilot, a carrier, I believe. Oops, I pulled that one out of the construction pool. That should be face up. That's the Soryu. She should be face up for her second round. Yeah, that's why it's a 1. Yeah, right. And 1 point for a combat air group. The Italians produced 7, started with 4. I think this was out of the construction pool as well. The Sparviato for her second round. Yep. First round on a sub, combat air group, first round on a light cruiser, and first round on a transport. Alright, the Soviets produced 7, started with 5. They're building an ACAC unit, a pilot, and an armored army. And I think that about wraps it up. So I'm going to get these on the production circle. I think I'm going to call the turn right about now. I think we're running around 30 minutes or so. So I'll upload this turn, and tomorrow night I might do a couple long turns. We'll see how it goes. But no, hey, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, share, all those wonderful things, and see you next time.